Welcome AMFishers, I'm Bill Georgopoulos, the host of the AMFisH fishing vlog series. Just enjoying kind of a late summer day out here. Very overcast, but the fishing's been on, and I'm shooting as usual some vlogs for everyone out there. This one pertains to casting with the wind, casting into the wind, and what application and different ways that you can actually fish that. So you can probably see I'm slowly drifting this way. I've got a wind coming at me, a tailwind coming at me this way, and kind of came into the middle of the lake to actually find a stronger wind so I can shoot this video. But what I would do if this was an area, and again I've drifted that whole shoreline over there behind me with the wind as well earlier, so I came out here because a little bit more space to actually shoot the video. What you do in these scenarios is I can actually fish into the wind, casting into the wind, or casting with the wind. If I find a spot, here I'm probably in close to 24-25 feet of water, but if I find an actual spot that I want to fish, I can actually cast this way and bring my bait back into the wind. So I'm actually coming against any current, any wind current, any current in the lake as well. Just gives your bait a different look. If I want to cast into the wind, I'm going to struggle a little bit, especially when I'm using a bigger bait that's got a lot of drag in the air and a bait caster. I'm going to try and keep my casts lower to the water, more sideways, to get chopped through that wind a little bit. But what that does is, as I'm reeling with the wind, now any bait fish blowing through this way, I'm going to kind of blend my bait within them as well. So when the wind's actually blowing behind you, you're going to want to reel a little faster. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get that slack build up, so boat's pulling. If I leave my bait just out there, example, you know, I've got a diver here. If I leave this just out there, I can probably drift and have this not go to full depth, but just leave my line out there, and I'll probably be, you know, in that 4 to 6 foot range, depending on how much line I have out. But it'll be coming this way. If I actually want to fish, example, spinnerbait, I can do the same application as well. Cast it out and just kind of hold my rod up and let it pull back through with the actual wind. Same thing, example, if you're fishing with a tube, you can throw a tube out and just drag it on the bottom with the wind strength. But if I'm casting into the wind and I want to bring it back, sometimes you'll have to reel a little bit faster just to catch up to how fast the wind's actually pulling you. If I cast with the wind, every time I reel back, I'm going to have a little bit more drag trying to pull through that chop in the water and trying to pull through that wind as well. So again, you're just kind of giving yourself a little bit different presentation. I do both. Both have been successful for me. There might be certain days where there's a really strong tailwind and just casting into it is it just doesn't work. You're getting a bird nest, a backlash all the time. Your bait's just not going out there. Unless you got something really, really heavy, you can actually cast it into that thick, strong wind. But if I've got a really strong tailwind coming at me, I'm just going to utilize it, cast into the wind, or sorry, with the wind in every direction, kind of in a fan pattern. Start maybe at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and just kind of fish that whole pocket of area. But I'm going to get longer casts with the wind, shorter casts into the wind. The purpose again of this video is windy days can be, you know, make or break days. Sometimes when you're on the water, you're out there and you're trying to fish a shoreline, the boat's just getting blown away. But if you actually use the wind to your advantage a little bit, like I said, it's picking up a little bit, so you can probably hear it maybe a little bit on camera. Stronger headwind coming at, tailwind coming at me now, so I can make some really long casts, you know, 40, 50 yard casts, and bring my bait back looking a completely different way this way. If I want to actually throw it back that way, I may try and keep it again lower to the water, throw it back, and work it a little faster, because now I'm actually drifting, so I kind of want to pull it and have any fish that are in that area maybe make a U-turn or just turn out and lunge and swipe at it. So don't be scared of the wind. Like I said, I struggled when I was in a 16-foot aluminum boat back in the day, in my rental days, prior to having a bass boat, and I'm not going to lie, it sucked. I tried to position myself near the shoreline, wind's blowing me this way. By the time I grab a rod, I'm facing the wrong direction. That was just because in those learning stages, you're trying to figure out where to position yourself. So if you got a really strong tailwind and you can't head that way with your trolling motor or with your boat, fish this way. Just fish with it, accept the fact that there's a strong tailwind, fish with the tailwind, and cast the entire shoreline. I've got, you know, several kilometers of shoreline to get all the way down there. So I'm just going to make those casts with the wind towards the shore, bring my bait back to the boat. Again, I just want to, I'm getting out of the box with some of my topics here, things that I've struggled with and things that people have inquired with me about. But on those windy days, like I said, there's a few different ways that I've touched on in this video that you can actually fish and still be productive. So don't be scared of them, and you know, don't head out on the water and all of a sudden find out, you know, damn, it's a really windy day out here. We can't cast. I can't cast. Just kind of look at the application, look what the days presented you, and just roll with it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.